I propose to you that this week is not just about intense emotion or bigger realizations, but it's about taking what it is that we feel this week and becoming more wiser, more grounded, and more in alignment with our truth. That the divine is really teaching us how to turn our passion into more purpose. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. I hope everyone out there is doing well. We have a lot to talk about here this week. There's a lot going on astrologically. I'm going to go through the highlights of this week, and then we'll break it down and get into it. But we have Mars here in Scorpio that's going to be activating a grand water trine. It's going to trine over to Jupiter in Cancer, and it's also going to trine over to Saturn retrograde in Pisces. Also as well, Mercury still isn't done here. Mercury is going to trine over to Neptune retrograde in Pisces this week. And also Mercury is going to come into Sagittarius, and it's going to immediately oppose Uranus retrograde in Gemini. And then we end the week with Venus opposing Chiron retrograde in Aries, and Venus as well, that's going to be squaring over to Jupiter in Cancer. So this is quite an interesting week. I genuinely do like the energy here this week. This Mars trine Jupiter is going to give us a surge of emotional conviction. Mars being in Scorpio, Scorpio deals with intensity, right? Also deals with emotion, and Mars is our drive. That's why I said in the beginning of this video that it's not just about intense emotion, but that intense emotion is going to come through. And with the trine to Jupiter, Jupiter is a planet that represents positivity, growth, expansion, faith. It's also going to boost your optimism, positivity, and faith. And so here comes this deep current of emotional conviction aligning with positivity, growth, giving us more faith to actually align with something that is purposeful, that will expand our world, expand our goals, or expand into the type of ideal future that we're wanting to create, because also Mars is going to be trining Saturn retrograde in Pisces. And Mars trining over to Saturn is going to allow for discipline to really come through with our actions, with our will, with our intensity, to be channeled into something constructive and build towards something that is ideal for our future, because Saturn is still, it's in Pisces, it's with this North Node still. It's not conjunct the North Node, but if it's activating Saturn, then in Pisces, it's also going to be activating that North Node in Pisces. And that North Node is wanting us to create and establish a better future for ourselves. That's more in alignment spiritually, but also that's more in alignment with our ideals. Now, even though Saturn is retrograde, this is sort of a restructuring process going on, but it's a commitment to the restructuring process. That this is, with this grand water trine, that this is taking us to the depths of our mind and our emotions to help us rebuild, restructure things. Now, Mercury here is in the midst as well. That Mercury is going to be trining over to Neptune retrograde. Now, this is signal, right? Neptune is signal. This is signal. This is allowing for you to be able to cut through the noise and to find the divine signal. The intuitive insight, the intuitive knowing. Allowing for us to dissolve and let go of all the mental noise and just find the spiritual signal. So, Mercury trining over to Neptune, of course, is going to boost your intuition, your clairvoyant abilities, your creative abilities. As I'm looking at this grand water trine with Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, and then you got Mercury here. It's like the mind here with Mercury, our thought process, even the way we communicate, the way we're thinking, it's getting in tune spiritually. helping for us to find the signal. And then Mercury is going to come into Sagittarius, to where the mind has been in the depths looking for the penetrative insights, is now about to expand outward when it comes to when it moves into Sagittarius. That Sagittarius is the seeker, right? It searches for meaning and understanding, right? And so this is also a larger vision unfolding. So the bigger realizations that I was talking about in the very beginning of the video, this is the bigger realizations happening with Mercury coming into Sagittarius and also opposing Uranus retrograde. Now this is going to bring in some sudden insights, unexpected communication or information, and it may challenge you a bit, but it's there for you to reformulate things, to rethink things, to shift your perspective. So as soon as Mercury comes into Sagittarius, there's this confident I know, and then it's the opposition to Uranus retrograde. It's here's new information. And so you just have to adapt with whatever that information is, but it's really allowing for us to, whatever the insight is, whatever the shift is, or whatever the unexpected is, it's allowing for us to get a more clearer knowing based off truth. Right? Because Gemini rules truth, Sagittarius rules beliefs. And then not only that, Mercury is going to come in, it's going to sextile Pluto. I forgot about that part. So Mercury in Sag is also going to sextile Pluto and Aquarius, that's now direct. And so this is allowing for our minds to transform on a deeper level, which will bring in even more deeper insights. And with Pluto now direct in Aquarius, we're figuring out ways how to transform the social systems in which we're connected to and which we're a part of. So this is a larger vision unlocking and then connecting to a broader social whole. So if you have any good ideas, or if there's anything you want to share, or if there's other ways in which you want to connect in a more innovative, creative way, allow yourself to make that transformative move. To speak with authority, speak with conviction and clarity, and speak with confidence. That your words have weight and your thoughts have weight, and they can really influence your reality. And then we end the week with Venus opposed Chiron retrograde and then Venus square Jupiter. I touched base on this, I think, I don't know how many videos it was ago that I did, but I think it was when the sun was in Libra and it was squaring Jupiter in Cancer. And I said, don't say yes when you want to say no. Don't overcompromise, or don't over exaggerate, specifically if you can't follow through. And I'm saying that because Venus squared Jupiter. Venus deals with pleasure and Jupiter deals with generosity. And so the square there is going to exaggerate that. So you're going to have to find a balance between understanding what you can take on and like what you can't take on. Specifically when it comes to relationship needs or your own needs and stuff like that. But this Venus that's going to be opposing Chiron, this can bring up some wounds, right? Chiron represents our deepest wounds. It's retrograde, so we're going through this inward process of trying to figure out how we can strengthen our identity, how we can strengthen our confidence, how we can strengthen our ego. But they're wounds that come up in order for us to heal. And so with Venus opposing it, you know, Venus in Libra deals with relationships and other people, deals with fairness, balance, cooperation. But the Chiron being there in Aries represents the self and independence. It's about finding a balance in between needing to speak up or prioritize your needs that maybe you've been not doing before. Or it could be reflecting where we're being overly dependent on other people for our needs. So you just have to see where you fall into the category. But if your needs aren't being met in regards to your relationships or really with anything, then this is just about realizing, okay, where is it that I need to self-assert myself, Chiron and Aries, and speak up or be more transparent about what it is that you need, and seeing how you can bring balance and cooperation into the picture. Or it can be the other side, to where we can be overly dependent or codependent. It's like we need to assert our independence by becoming more independent. So I like this week. I think this Mars creating this grand water trine to Jupiter and Saturn, this is, because Jupiter in Cancer, Cancer is a water sign, right? Pisces is a water sign. This is deep passion and willpower aligning with faith, optimism, and also a deeper awareness, Pisces, allowing for us to actually take purposeful action in a meaningful way that's going to expand our world, expand our future, help us get more in alignment with what's more ideal for us, what's more connected with us spiritually. And then Mercury trining over the Neptune retrograde is cutting out the noise and tuning into the signal. So expect intuition to be heightened, your clairvoyant abilities to be heightened, and your sense of perception and just awareness to be heightened. And so this will allow for you to really tune into your spirit, to tune into the divine. And then Mercury is going to come into Sagittarius. It's going to, where the inner vision that's forming is now going to want to seek outwardly. And as soon as it wants to seek outwardly, it's going to get met with Uranus retrograde in Gemini, to where there's a unexpected revelation, or it could be an unexpected revelation, or it could be just a sudden insight that allows for you to liberate yourself from an old way of thinking or believing, and allows for you to see a more clearer, bigger picture with Mercury being in Sag. But it could also be unexpected information, communication that may throw you off, but it's there also too to kind of show you some truth, to reformulate your beliefs. And then that Mercury that's going to sextile Pluto is allowing for us to, the mind to go through a more deeper transformative process, and understanding how we can understand the bigger picture and how it connects to our social networks. When I say social networks, what I mean by that is Aquarius rules groups and communities, the collective. So it's the things that you're socially connected to. And then again, we end the week, Venus post Chiron retrograde in Aries, Venus squared Jupiter, the T squared to Jupiter. Like Jupiter in Cancer, it's the emotional growth that we're all learning at this time, how to take better care of ourselves, how to nurture what actually allows for us to feel secure. And so with Venus opposed Chiron, it's about either learning how to be more self-assertive when it comes to your own needs and your values and your relationships. And it's also, it could be the other side, realizing like, okay, maybe I need to be more independent, not be too dependent on other people or other things. And also not to take things to the extreme or ask for too much with Venus squared Jupiter in Cancer. Learning how to say no instead of yes. Or this could be too, learning how to say yes instead of no. It's like you have to, everybody's situation is going to be different, but you'll know when you're in the moment. So I like this week. I really do. I'm going to be doing the dailies here on the channel, which will be, I think I'm going to start on Tuesday. So I'll do the dailies for the week with the moon transits, where we go a bit deeper. But I did want to do a weekly video for you all. So I hope you all appreciate it. Again, this week is about taking those intense emotions, that deep drive, and the bigger realizations that you get. For one, becoming more wiser, more grounded, and getting more in alignment with your truth. So that way you can turn the deeper purpose that you have with things into, or sorry, the deeper passions that you have with things into deeper purpose or bigger purpose. So that's what I got for you all this week. I appreciate you. If you have any feedback, I would love to hear from you all down below. And otherwise than that, I'm wishing y'all a great week, and I'll see y'all later. That's my dog snoring, by the way. I don't know if y'all can hear him. Yeah, it's my dog Neo. Anyways, I'll see y'all later.